Okay, 9.34. Very important verse. Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mame vaishyasi yukvaivam atmanam matparayanaha. Engage your mind always in thinking of me. Become my devotee. Offer obeisances to me and worship me. Being completely absorbed in me, surely you will come to me. So engage your mind always in thinking of me. So always and completely absorbed. The other things maybe we are trying to do. We are offer obeisances to the Lord. We try to worship Him, trying to become His devotee. But always thinking about Him, completely absorbed in Him. This is where we need to get to. In this verse, it is clearly indicated that Krishna consciousness is the only means of being delivered from the clutches of this contaminated material world. So you have to recognize contamination first. So many things which contaminate us. Anything which is a non-Krishna conscious thought is a contamination. Might be grass, it might be subtle, but it's a contamination. Okay, so sometimes unscrupulous commentators distort the meaning of what is clearly stated here, that all devotional service should be offered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Unfortunately, unscrupulous commentators divert the mind of the reader to that which is not at all feasible. Such commentators do not know that there is no difference between Krishna's mind and Krishna. Krishna is not an ordinary human being. He is absolute truth. His body, his mind, and he himself are one and absolute. It is stated in the Kurma Purana as it is quoted by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami in his Anubhashya comments on Chaitanya Charitamrita. Deha dehi vibhedoyam neshware vidyate kvachita. This means that there is no difference in Krishna, the Supreme Lord, between himself and his body. But because the commentators do not know the science of Krishna, they hide Krishna and divide his personality from his mind or from his body. Although this is sheer ignorance of the science of Krishna, some men make profit out of misleading people. Okay. So we are aware of this, that people can't understand that Krishna, his mind, he himself, everything is absolute, that is non-different from his personality. And that of course his nama is also non-different from him. By the time as practicing devotees we come to the stage of understanding this, it takes a long time. But we also have to understand that it is non-different. That is, nama is also non-different from Krishna. Everything about Krishna is non-different from him, because everything is one spiritual. Two, everything is him. Right, so nama is also empowered. Rupa is empowered. So everything is empowered. Everything is Krishna. So there's no difference really. Unlike our body, our hand, our as in we Atma, no distinction like that with Krishna. And also there's no difference between Krishna himself and the Archa Vigraha. So we have to recognize that when we see the Lord in the temple is non-different from Krishna. So this is Krishna consciousness. When this Krishna consciousness increases, then we will actually come to the stage where we see ourselves as non-different in the sense qualitatively non-different from the Lord. So we are actually his part and parcel. So we'll come to see that. Then we will come to see that everybody, every living entity is Krishna, that sense. So the whole world we will see as Krishna. And that is the progressive path of Krishna consciousness. That is the Brahmabhuta stage. When we come to that stage where we can see everything is Krishna, then Mad Bhaktim Labate Param. Krishna says, Brahmabhuta Prasannatma Na Sochati Na Kankshati. Now at that time, because we see everything as Krishna, then no Sochati Na Kankshati. No lamentation, no desire. Prabhupada once, like bombing was happening, people were all running helter-skelter. And somebody asked, Swamiji, please come, let's go get some shelter. These bombs. Prabhupada said, no, bomb is Krishna. So that is Mahabhagavata. So we have to reach that stage. And then Mad Bhaktim Labate Param. Only then we can actually, we will get bhakti. Means pure devotional service. Okay, there are some who are demoniac. They also think of Krishna but enviously, just like King Kamsa, Krishna's uncle. He was also thinking of Krishna always, but he thought of Krishna as his enemy. He was always in anxiety, wondering when Krishna would come to kill him. That kind of thinking will not help us. One should be thinking of Krishna in devotional love. Wow, what a thinking of Krishna, not think about Krishna, thinking all the time. That is bhakti. One should cultivate, so that is bhakti. So Prabhupada clearly reveals what is the standard of devotional service. This is bhakti. One should cultivate the knowledge of Krishna continuously. See, continuously. Nityam. What is that favorable cultivation? What should we cultivate? It is learned from a bona fide teacher. Krishna is the Supreme Person of Godhead. And we have several times explained that his body is not material, but it's eternal, blissful knowledge. This kind of talk about Krishna will help one become a devotee. Understanding Krishna otherwise from the wrong source will prove fruitless. One should therefore engage his mind in the eternal form, the primal form of Krishna. With conviction in his heart that Krishna is the Supreme, he should engage himself in his worship. Conviction, firm faith that Krishna is Supreme. There are hundreds of thousands of temples in India for worship of Krishna, and devotional service is practiced there. When such practice is made, one has to offer obeisances to Krishna. One should lower his head before the deity and engage his mind, body, and activities, everything. That will make one fully absorbed in Krishna without deviation. That will help one transfer to Krishna Loga. One should not be deviated by unscrupulous commentators. One must engage in the 9 different processes of devotional service, beginning with hearing and chanting about Krishna. Pure devotional service is the highest achievement of human society. The 7th and 8th chapters of Bhagavad Gita have explained pure devotional service to the Lord that is free from speculative knowledge, mystic yoga, and fruitive activities. Those who are not purely sanctified may be attracted by different features of the Lord like the impersonal Brahmajyoti and localized Paramatma. But a pure devotee directly takes to the service of the Supreme Lord. There's a beautiful poem about Krishna, in which it is clearly stated that any person who is engaged in the worship of demigods is most unintelligent and cannot achieve at any time the supreme award of Krishna. The devotee in the beginning may sometimes fall from the standard, but still he should be considered superior to all other philosophers and yogis. One who always engages in Krishna consciousness should be understood to be a perfectly saintly person. Prabhupada is saying, Apichetsu Duracharo. So one who always engages should be considered perfectly saintly person, even if he may fall from the standard. his accidental non-devotional activities will diminish, and he will soon be situated without any doubt in complete perfection. So by this we can understand that even if there are accidental fall downs, we just have to keep at the process, and without any doubt it will result in complete perfection. The pure devotee has no actual chance to fall down. Pure devotee has no actual chance to fall down, because the Supreme Godhead personally takes care of his pure devotees. So there can't be any fall down. So for those who are not pure, who are still in the initial stages, they might fall down, but still eventually they will achieve complete perfection. Therefore, the intelligent person should take directly to the process of Krishna consciousness and happily live in this material world. Prabhupada is saying that if one takes to Krishna consciousness, one must happily live. But if we are not happily living, that means that we are actually not completely engaged in Krishna consciousness. You will eventually receive the supreme award of Krishna. So this is so, I mean, see, these are the kind of statements we should meditate on. That is why I keep highlighting Prabhupada's purports. Tell us how we have to behave. I mean, how should we live our life? So Prabhupada is saying that actually we should happily live in this material world. If we directly take, if we take to Krishna consciousness, we should happily live in this material world. But we are not happily living. We are, isn't it? We are always looking for something better, some greener pasture. That means that we actually don't have real conviction in Krishna. Anyway, so that is a matter of surrender. So the whole point is mind always thinking of me. Now, how do we always think about Krishna? Now, it doesn't mean that we just stop all other thinking and simply just think only about Krishna and say, okay, I'm not going to engage in any service. I'm not going to do my material duties. I'm going to just, sit in one corner and just keep thinking about Krishna. Now, that's not our process. That's not what Krishna is recommending either. So we have to engage in activities, right? And that stage is bhajana. That is for us, we are Gosthyanandis, or we are trying to follow in those footsteps. That is what Prabhupada has taught us, which means that we have to be engaged in preaching. And also when we have grihastha responsibilities, we take care of them. And like Arjuna, how did Arjuna think about Krishna? Arjuna was also thinking about Krishna always, but he was thinking about Krishna by fighting. Not that when he was, putting an arrow on his bow, he was thinking of Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. No, he was completely engaged in his fight. But because the fight was being done for Krishna, it is as good as thinking about Krishna. So the devotee who works for Krishna is always thinking about Krishna. So that is why we have to mold our life. Prabhupada says elsewhere, we have to mold our life such that not even 1 minute is spent without being Krishna conscious. So we should understand not that we are only sitting and doing bhajan, or chanting or reading. So sadhana, seva, as part of seva also is maybe our material duties as well, done for his pleasure in Krishna consciousness. It could be taking care of our children, our family, etc., but not with a mundane view of them being our family, but with the view that they are sent by Krishna, his devotees whom we have to take care of, and thereby we engage in Krishna conscious relationships. So by living like this, actually we can experience when we are dealing with others at a platform, Krishna conscious platform, then our consciousness also will show that we generally remain happy. But when we fall down to our material platform, to our material ways of thinking, that is when we are disturbed, depressed, frustrated, etc., etc. But really there isn't any reason, but it is so easily said than done. I mean, can think about myself as well. I can just say, because that is what it is supposed to be. I know that that's what it is supposed to be, but putting that into practice that is why it's called sadhana. So we have to keep trying. We'll fail. Again, keep trying. Keep praying, begging for mercy. And hopefully one day we will get there. So this is the actually heart of the matter, right? This is the essence of Bhagavad Gita. Actually, though people say that it is Sarvadharman Parityaja. No, but Sarvadharman Parityaja is a call for action so that we surrender and then we reach this stage of Manmana Bhav Mad Bhakti. And that is the reason why Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared, to make it easy for us. Okay. I'll hope and pray that we can reach this stage in this life, completely absorbed in Krishna. Actually, that stage is so blissful. Just thinking about it, it can make us feel happy. But we ourselves have created so many obstacles for ourselves by way of material attachments, which we think is important, because actually maybe we don't fully appreciate what it is to be completely absorbed in Krishna. Anyway, hopefully we'll realize these things as well as we go along. Okay, so with that we end the 9th chapter. Any questions on this?